Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning practice. Welcome, everyone, both on Insight Timer as well as on the other social media. So today's practice at the end of the class is um, one might call a QiGong exercise, the mother of QiGong called Jing. And to start off, to pair it, and we're going to be doing some essentially what I call chi massage, but it includes massage, tapping, um, acupressure, as well as scraping. So we're going to start with the hands, work from the fingers to the toes, work from the bottom, top of the head to ears, all the way to the bottom of the feet. So these are the extremities. So let's take our left hand, looking at the palm of the hand. Take the right hand, the thumb, and we're going to massage one finger at a time, one joint at a time. Okay. You don't actually have to use a lot of force, just very gently using your thumb and just massage the front, the left, back to the front, to the right. And then when you finish one joint, move to the other joint. Right? This is something that you ought to be doing all day long to relieve yourself of chronic pain. Now, today's word is going to be fascia, as in myofascia, which means the membrane surrounding the muscle. That's a very limited view of the most important systems in the body, which is that of connected tissue. This is one of the things that has been completely ignored by the Western medical science, which are the membranes around the organ, not just the organ, but around the organs. Okay, now we're going to take the left thumb and work on the right hand, one joint at a time. Okay, just focus on the joints, the front, the left, the right, back to the front, and then move on to the next one. And when you finish one finger, move on to the next fingers. So this is the idea. The fascia is the closest thing to explaining meridians, which are the energy lines, the life energy, the channels where the chi travels. For the longest time, the Western science says no, it doesn't exist. I can't see it. There's nothing to see here. All right. Now we're going to work on. We finished the palm of the hand. We're going to flip on the back of the hand. Similarly, we're going to use the right thumb and work on one joint at a time. Now, when you think about it, the connective tissue is, in fact, the very first organ in our existence, right? Because when the sperm meets up with the egg, all they have is the membrane. It's the membrane that they use to communicate with one another. Okay, now we use the left thumb and work on the right hand. And it's the membrane that allows the egg to select, right? The mating sperm. And from that, the membrane merges into one and then it splits. And when it splits, the membranes remain. And it's the communication channel from cell to cell, from organ to organ. All right, so now we're done with the joints. We're going to work on the fingertips. First, we're going to work on the back of the hand. And I want you to take the thumb and the index finger and just squeeze around the nail, right? The fingernail has two corners and just kind of squeeze around that. So by connective tissue, it means that it's um, it's what's surrounding the muscle. And there's a lot great study. Actually, just finished watching a video from Japan. There's a center for studying the fascia. Okay, now we're done with the fingernails, and we're going to work towards the knuckle. All right, so I want you to fold your hand and just use your right thumb and massage between the knuckle. And so what they find is that they're trying to find the reason and the cure for chronic pain. And essentially, it's consistent. What I've been saying here is that we're going to work on in between the fingers. So you notice the fingers comes in, they're still individual, and then they join at the wrist. So I want you to slide the fingers in between the bones on the back of the hand and feel if there's any pain. If there is pain, then you need to do more. Okay, it's your body telling you that I'm inflamed, right? So the Chinese for thousands of years had to explain the relationship between qi and inflammation. And in the word Chinese, the Chinese word for inflammation just means fire, not just one fire, but three fires written together. And the word for chi means no fire, right? All right, so now I want you to just feel how the bones come together at the wrist. And if you use the thumb, you can feel like two kind of a cavity and just want to press on that. Okay. So what we work on here is not the muscle or the tendon or the bones, but the cracks and crannies. It's really in between the bones, in between the muscles. That's where the membranes are. Okay. Now after you've massaged the fingers, I want you to massage the thumb all by itself and just kind of feel around the thumbs. It says feel around the crans, the the places where you have pain and just kind of massage that. Now the thumb is the one that we use the most, right? And it's the one that hurts the most. Try not using your thumb, and you can't do anything without the thumb. Now we're going to use the left hand and work on the right hand. Again, we start with the fingernail, kind of squeeze the fingernails. Okay, and then we're going to work on the knuckle. This is something I do all day long. It's just, it's a struggle for me as it is for anyone. As we age, our body inflames, and right. So we think of arthritis, we think of gout, we think of all these things as separate things, but they're all one thing. They're just all inflammation in your body. The Chinese believe that the inflammation comes from the fact that life energy is not traveling freely in your body. All right. So now we work on the wrist, and then we work on the thumb individually, right? And my thumb really hurts because I do a lot of massage for my mom and for my wife and so forth, and the thumb hurts. But that's okay. You just work on it, right? All right. Okay. So now I want you to put the right hand on top of the left hand, the palm touching the back of the hand, the fingers squeeze together, and just kind of massage them together like that. And then go the other way. So earlier I mentioned about fingers and the toes and the top of the head, the ears, and all those extremities. So when you think about these channels, right, for the life energy, the meridians, they actually travel to the extremities and then they have to return. So what goes out of the body is what we call the yang, facing the sun. What's coming back is the yin, that's the energy coming back from the universe. They come back. And so the extremities is where they have to return. And so if you have blockage on the extremities, then there's blockage everywhere else, right? So we work on the extremities. All right, so now we're going to move from the back of the hand to the front of the hand. Okay. Dala asked the question, if the thumb hurts, how to help most. Okay, so I'll tell you my experience of where I feel that it helps. So my thumb hurts a lot. And you notice that my thumb is crooked, right? Everyone else is pretty nice, but the thumb is crooked. So you work on the joint like we did. You work on between the thumb and the index finger. And then you notice that when you come back on the other side of the thumb, there's sort of there's a muscle here, and then there's a bone here. In between here, okay, in between here. So that hurts. And then, where the thumb comes to the wrist, there is a dimple that helps. Now, that's how you help the thumb locally. But it turns out that there's a way that you can help the thumb remotely by just moving along here and just kind of find the places where it hurts and just massage. Now, we're going to work on that later. Okay. So so you have to kind of find a balance of heating yourself locally versus understanding how the energy flow and also help it from more of from a distance. Um, okay, all right. So where am I? Okay, so now we did this. Okay, so now we're going to work on the center of the palm again. Again, starting with the tip. All right, so we're going to massage the tip. And then the other side. And we're going to do some finger work now. And before we do that, we're going to learn how to pull our fingers. So take the index finger and the thumb, grab onto the one finger at a time, starting with the pinky. And then as you pull, just one joint at a time. The other one, the other one, the other one. And then right hand on the left. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do some thumb exercise. Okay. First, we're going to take the thumb and the index finger and we're going to squeeze as hard as we can. All right. Then we're going to take the thumb and the middle finger and we're going to squeeze as hard as we can. Then the thumb and the ring finger and squeeze as hard as you can. And then the pinky, squeeze as hard as you can. Now come back, put the thumb in the middle of the index finger, wherever it fits, and then just kind of press, middle finger, press. Okay? Okay, now we're going to continue to do some finger exercise. And now we're going to take our hand and just stretch the fingers as hard as you can. Stretch it as hard as you can. Now, for looking at the palm of the hand, right hand first, one fingers at a time. Little finger, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and then the thumb. Same thing on the other side, one finger at a time. And then we're going to squeeze as hard as we can. Now we're going to open it one finger at a time. And then expand the fingers, stretch out the fingers second time. And then right hand first, left hand, and then squeeze as hard as we can. Open it up, open it up. One last time, stretch as hard as you can. Right hand first, left hand, and then squeeze as hard as you can, okay? Now the Chinese believe that everything comes in five. Everything comes in five, all right? So 5 fingers, 5 toes, and 5 main organs, and they represent the 5 elements. So by working on the fingers, they believe that actually exercise the internals as well. But it turns out that there has been a study on how important it is to work on fingers to improve not only your heart but your brain. Okay, so this is a very well-known finger exercise. Now we're going to continue. We're going to put the tip of the fingers together, the palm of the hand together. We're going to press as hard as we can. And then we're going to lower the hand without separating the palm. The center of the palm stay together. Just going to lower that and relax. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do some tapping. First, we're going to tap the fingertips. There's 10 energy points at the fingertip. We massaged it already. So now we're going to do some tapping. And I want you to learn to focus your mind on the fingertip. We're going to tap 30 times. Get ready. Go. All right. And now we're going to cross the hands. So there's 8 energy points at the finger. And we're going to tap that 30 time as well. Focus. Get ready. Go. Okay, now we're going to tap the inside the hand. The inside the hand has 3 energy lines, or yin because it's away from the sun. The, the little fingers is the one that we name after the heart. In this case, heart and mind are the same. And so it's more like the mind. The middle one is the pericardium, that's the heart. And then the thumb is the one we name after the lung. So we're first going to tap 2 energy points, one at right below the little fingers, and one is on the thumb. Now the one on the thumb is very obvious. If you look at the thumb, it has like a little bit um, uh, big, nice, big, soft part here. So that's what we want to work on. But you can also notice the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we're going to take the hand, we form like a V. The muscle touching the muscle. And we're going to tap that 30 times. Get ready, go. And we're going to flip it. And again, forming the V, the thumb, this meaty part touching the meaty part. Tap that 30 times. Okay, now we're going to work on the opposite of that, which is the yang side. The opposite of the heart energy line, the mind energy line, is the small intestine. And then the opposite of that is the large intestine. So this energy point is actually on the edge of your palm. So if you take your palm, you fold it, you see a line that go across, it's right here. So we're going to put the palm together like this. This time you want to lay it flat, not like a V like before. Gonna roll up the fingers as if you're holding a fist and just tap that 30 times. Okay, now we're gonna work on this one right here, which is the large intestine. It's called the merging valley. So if you put your fingers like this together, you see a little bump. And then when you open it, you see a valley, right? So you take this energy point, you put it on top of this valley so that it is facing the index finger. I'm gonna tap that 30 times. And then go the other way. Okay, so now we're moving away from the fingertips and working on arms as well as later on get to the shoulder and then the face. And we're going to do a whole body chi massage, chi therapy. All right, so now these, I mentioned the energy lines that starts at the fingertips, they travel in the inside the arm and then similarly try the outside arm. So where the important energy points are at the wrist as well as at the elbow, particularly at the wrist. So this one comes down here. There's energy point here. This one similarly, and the thumb comes down here. Also has an energy point here. All right. So there's three ways to describe deficiency in a health. One is called qi deficiency. Qi means that you don't have enough air in this case, right? So if you walk up and down the stairs and you feel like you're huffing and puffing, that's what we call qi deficiency. Qi deficient. You don't have enough yang, so it's something called yang deficient. And when you're always cold, you always have to put on the jacket, and you go in and out air conditioning, and you feel that's yang deficient. And then finally, there's something called blood deficient. And the reason blood and qi are similar is that in Chinese, we don't just say qi, we say shi qi. Shi means blood. And that's when you look very pale. So those are the three things that we describe. So this energy point here, part of the lung, if you have lack of air, right? Lack of that's a good one. So the way we work on all three, we're going to do some scraping. We're going to work on everything here and everything here. So I just want to put your hand together like this, like the lotus flower, right? And just kind of tap all the way around. You don't have to actually touch it. Just kind of put it together like this and just tap 30 times. Okay, so that would help. And then we're going to work on this one too later on. We're going to do some tapping. All right, so before we do some scraping, I want you to know a few energy points on the back of the hand along what's called the large intestines. Now, it turns out that these energy points are very good to relieve pain, especially in your shoulders, in your back like this. So we're going to come back to this thing called the merging belly. We're going to do some acupressure. So if you open your fingers like this, you see this ridge, you take your thumb, you see this line, you put them together, and then you press down. So you press down first, and then you lean towards the index finger, and you feel like there's this part really sore, right? So really like this, really sore. And so this will relieve the pain in the body, right? That's one. And the other one, you come up here at the bend, you push down. Then you measure 4 fingers. You feel the bone on the outside. You press down. So earlier, Dahlia asked me about the thumb. This is the one I use a lot, right? For my thumb, for my shoulder. And then back to the bend. Go up to the shoulder. Go down 4 fingers, and right here as well. Okay. So these are the points where you when you press on it, it feels a little bit tender, sore, and that means that there's the chi is blocked and body's inflamed. All right. Similarly, over here, take your thumb, line that together, press down into the belly, and then press towards the index finger. Okay. Come back to the bend, press down on the bend, 4 fingers on the outside of the bone, and then up to the shoulder, bring it down. Okay. So those are the energy points. That's good. And it helps to relieve pain in your body. Okay. I mean, obviously, if you're under a lot of pain, it's okay to take some Advil or Tylenol like that, okay, to relieve the pain. Um, it just you have to be mindful that it doesn't actually solve any problem. It just relieve the pain, right? And your body continues to inflame, right? So think about that. But also, they tend to hurt your organs. Advil hurts the kidney. Tylenol hurts the liver. All right. Yeah. So yeah, arthritis is coming. I'm pretty lucky. I don't have much problem with arthritis yet. I do have some, frozen shoulder, that kind of pain, but that comes with the territory, right? I try not to. I used to take a lot of Advil. That's how I used to. I couldn't go to sleep because my hand would be like really. It's not pain. It's just from the carpal tunnel. It's really. So what I do is I scrape, and so this is what we're doing now. Is we scrape. Okay. All right. Now you can actually get a tool like this if you go to Amazon and just look up. I think scraping tool. That's all it's in, right? Or maybe there's a better word for the. I know the Chinese word is called wasa. So if someone reminds me on a circle, time to join the circle, it's called the Mindfulness Fellowship, and you ask the question there, and I'll look up the word for you, and it's you can find that, and you can use it to scrape. I prefer to use my hand because the hand heals. The hand heals. Hand is by definition a healing hand, so I prefer to use my hand. Also, when I work on someone else, I don't want to use a tool because I can't feel their body. Yeah, Wasa. Very good. Thank you. All right. So we're going to use a scraping tool, the one that God gave us, which are the knuckles. And we're going to identify the inside of the arm as well as the outside of the arm. Okay. They're separated by the bone on top. What's inside the arm, we're going to work on the middle line. We're going to work on right below the bone. Similarly, on the outside, we're going to work right below the bone as well as the center line. The center line here is the pericardium. That's the heart. That's all the muscles and stuff outside the heart. So we're going to work on the elbow to the wrist. We're going to take the scraping tool, scrape the elbow, go down. So there's an energy point here. Go down. There's more energy point. And there's one very important energy point right where you wear your wristwatch. And this one is very famous. And if you have a heart murmur, this would be a good one to work on. And then you go all the way to the wrist. Then you come back, straighten out your elbow, And when you're done with the center line, we move up on one side of the bone. That's the lung. Now it's very easy for us to think, oh, he's talking about the lung, as in the lung organ. So this must be good for these little the lung here. Well, which is not, which is true, except that the Chinese they don't think of the body as a collection of components. So it's not like you just work on the lung, work on the heart individually, hoping that if the individual pieces are working, then the orchestra will be working, which is not true. They have to work together, right? So the Chinese think of the body as a system, right, as an energy system. And okay, so you take the arm. Now we're going to work on the bones, right? Work on the bones, and you feel the bones, see if there's any kinks. And if there's any kink, that means that because when we talk about energy, we're not just talking about these simple lines called meridians. There is actually a cross flow. Okay, so if you feel kinks on the bone, that means there's blocking there too. So you want to do more. What you want to do more. And then now we're going to work on the other side of the bone, which is the large intestine. And then we're going to work on the center line, which is something called the triple warmer. And then the back of the hand, the thumb, the fingers, back of the hand, straighten your arm again, the center, and then rotate the hand so you get to the bone. Rotate it some more until you get to the center. And then now we're going to work on this line, which is the mind. And there's a very famous energy point right here. This one helps you sleep, but you actually want to work on all maybe like 3-4 inches here. And then straighten the arm, scrape until you get to the elbow. Okay, same thing on the other side. Now, for me, this side hurts a lot more because I use my hand for the mouse and everything else. And I used to meet. Once upon a time, I was in the acupuncturist office, and there was a guy waiting in front of me, and he had a really severe case of carpal tunnel, and he didn't even use computers. So you don't want to think that just because you use the computer, you ever have carpal tunnel. He was a sushi chef. Same thing, just repetitive, right? Okay, now scrape on the bottom of the bone, scrape on the bone. I get a lot of relief. Right? Sometimes in the middle of the night, I wake up and I just stay inside the bed, try not to move, wake up my wife, and just scrape, and then go back to sleep. Okay, the back of the hand, fingers, back of the hand, the thumb, and then again scrape, and then rotate your arm as you get to the inside, and then work on this one right here. Okay, now Dalia, I guarantee if your thumb hurts, this one will help with the thumb. Okay, just keep in mind that every time it hurts, it's arthritis or whatever it is, it's just inflammation. That's all. Right? The word inflammation means fire, right? So, and just remember that inflammation means that the chi is blocked, right? We're a living being. We need to be part of the universe. So if the energy from the universe can travel freely through a body, we should be healthy, right? Okay, so we continue. A lot of work, huh? A lot of work. All right. I don't expect you to do this every day. Okay. I don't expect you to, well, actually we do, but you don't need to. You could follow the videotape and practice every day like this, right? Or you could just remember a few things, and when you sit on the TV, you scrape, you do finger works, whatever, right? Just don't stop, right? Don't waste your time. And all right, so now um, we're gonna do some more finger works. Okay, so stretch your spine, lean back, open the shoulder, relax. All 10 fingers pointing to the camera, 4 fingers on the springs. The thumb is what's holding down the springs. Lock your elbow, wind up the springs, hold it down, Get ready. 1, back, 2, back, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is very good for carpal tunnel. The next one is very good for frozen shoulder. Frozen shoulder is inflammation of your shoulder, right? And so the Chinese call it the 50s shoulder. This means that when you reach the age of 50, you have frozen shoulder. Sometimes you get it when you're 50, sometimes you get it when you're 68, like I am. there's no, and it just, you use it a lot. You wear and tear, okay? All right, so this one, we stretch the spine again, lean back, open the shoulder, and relax. Then we take our fingers, we form what is called a lotus hand. We take a thumb, the middle finger, we press them together. Then we take the other three fingers, we stretch them out as far as we can. We put a lotus hand here. This is the energy point for the gate to the cloud. It's part of the lung energy line. And once again, we open the shoulder and back of the hand facing the camera. Get ready. Go. All right. Back of the hand facing the camera. Fingers all stretch out like this. Come back. Lotus hand. Put it back on the gate of the cloud. Open the shoulder again. Get ready. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? All right. So we're done with the fingers, right? Hopefully. About time, half an hour already. Okay, but remember now, we're going to have to go to the toes as well. But before we do that, we're going to work on the top of the head. All right. And before we work on the top of the head, let's work on the neck. Okay. Now, a lot of you have neck pain. And a lot of times, because your posture is bad, you have what's called the Dowager's hump right here, or you have high blood pressure, and the doctor will give you high blood pressure medicine, so it lowers your blood pressure even more. And now you have a severe case of lack of oxygen into your brain. And so we need to learn to open up some of these channels. So sit up straight, put your hands together in the back of the skull, sit up straight, take the thumb, slide down until you find this cavity right here. This is called um, the pond of wind. Okay. Now we're going to use the thumb press down on it as if you're squeezing two rubber hose. Lean back with your neck so you provide some counter pressure and just hold it and then relax. Okay, so let the chi rise up to your head. Now you take the right arm, right hand, four fingers, put that on the left, press down with the four fingers, lean back with the neck, and then you grab the left side of the neck and you stretch it to the right side. Open that channel. Then you do the same thing on the other side. Sit up straight, press down with four fingers, lean back the neck, press it down, and then grab the right side of the neck and stretch to the left. Then you take your right hand, four fingers, put that at the bottom of the ear, and then you just massage. Now, when you do that, you need to whisper to your body and you need to tell yourself, relax. Second time. Again, relax. Third time, relax. You need to learn to be your own whisperer, okay? Relax, relax, relax. Now we take the right hand, put that on top of the ear. Once again, relax, relax, relax. Left hand, relax, relax, relax. Now we take the thumb. This time we do some massage, okay? And then we're going to move towards the ear and right in the middle on top of the skull, massage. Okay, now we're going to learn to massage the neck. So we can take the thumb on one side, fingers on the other. First, we're going to massage these two energy points and we're going to move down the neck little by little until we get to the middle. We're going to work some more here and then we get down. Now we're going to learn to go further down, but before we do that, let's figure out some energy points on the shoulder as well as the back of the shoulder. So we work on the bottom of the ear. We're going to work all the way to the shoulder. There's an energy point here. So we take our right arm, right hand, use the index finger as the blade. We're going to do some scraping from the bottom of the ear all the way to the shoulder. And then we're going to massage. Once you get to the top of the shoulder, there's a cavity here. Massage that. This is called the well of the shoulders, part of the energy line that we name after the gallbladder. And then you reach down, there's a cavity here, right? There's one here. This is called the door of wind. And just gonna massage that. Now when you move to the outside, there's another one. Okay, now we're gonna learn to massage the shoulder. And once again, you tell yourself, you whisper to yourself, say, relax, relax, relax. Okay, same thing on this side. You take your left, use your index finger as a blade, and just kind of scrape that. And then you get to the shoulder, you massage the shoulder. Okay, massage the back. There's a cavity here. And then on the outside, there's another one. And then you massage the shoulder. Okay, now see these two cavities here? You put that together like this. Except that you put it inside your jacket. Okay? But I'll put it outside the jacket just to demonstrate. So you kind of take the two and you bring them together. You bring them together. Right? Now I'll do it inside. It's really comfortable. You bring them together and you just kind of move up to the neck. You just bring them together. And then all the way to the neck. Okay? So let me show you on the outside. See, you kind of do this. Okay, so they're called the door of wind. And so it's like you grabbing the two winds and you kind of two doors and you kind of squeeze them like this. Okay. So wind is so we have the earth, the wind, the fire. Sounds like a rock band, huh? And the water. Okay, so these are actually representation of sensation. So wind is something that you cannot see, you cannot taste, you cannot smell, you can only feel. So it's the old way, it's a traditional Chinese way of describing nerve. Huh? Okay. So all these energy point here named after wind that has to do with the nerve. Okay, so now we're going to learn to massage. So these energy points comes to the front of the face. We're going to learn to massage the face. We're going to learn to massage the ear. So there's two energy lines that comes down here. They're the name after the bladder. We go to the beginning of the eyebrow. There's actually a lot of energy points around our eye. As we age, we get a lot of problem with our eyes. And so we need to learn to open up the channel. And so we take the index finger, we put that in the beginning of the eyebrow, and just press on it. So you need to use your index finger as well as your neck. Hold the pressure and then put the index finger in between the eyebrow and just squeeze the eyebrows and massage the eyebrow as if you're squeezing toothpaste. Okay. Same thing on the bottom of the eye. Use your thumb at the corner of the eye and just kind of massage right below the eye bag. Massage. And then same thing on this side, massage. We're going to come back to the corner of the eye, move up, right? You have an eye socket, right? So move up you can feel the bone, right? And just press down on that. This is called the bright eye. Close your eye. And now we're going to do some eye yoga. Okay, close your eye, turn your eyeball up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left. One last time, up, right, down, left, back to up, counterclockwise, left, down, right, up, left, down, right, up. Open your eyes, right? Very bright, huh? Okay, so now we're going to take two fingers at the corner, massage until you get to the corner to the chin. Second time, third time. Now we're going to take the thumb, put that below the eyeball, and then just come down to the cheek. and then just press up. Then the index finger, put it outside the nostril. This is called the welcome fragrance. And this is good for your sinus. Then we're going to take four fingers and massage right here. This is where the body senses the oxygen, um, the blood flow into your brain. If there's not enough blood flow, it increases your blood pressure. So there's a reason for having high blood pressure. High blood pressure by itself is not the problem. It's just a symptom. It's your body telling you that you need help. And when the doctor gives you high blood pressure medicine, it's like shooting the witness. So yeah, sure enough, you knock out the high blood pressure the symptom, but the problem is not solved, right? So I learned a lot about taking care of my parents. I learned about a lot about dementia. I learned a lot about diabetes. I learned a lot about different things when I was taking care of my father. Now I learn a lot from taking care of my mother. Turns out that when you have high blood pressure and the doctor gives you high blood pressure medicine, something happens. First, you get a lot of pain in your neck because you're just not getting enough oxygen. Okay, um, then you don't get enough strength because your heart and your lung are not working right. And again, it's because your blood pressure is too low. And finally, you get something called peripheral neuropathy because you're not getting enough blood flow into your toes. Your body's trying as hard as you can to pump, and the doctor is knocking down. Very interesting. So, what did I learn? You take the problem away from your family doctor and give it to a neurologist. Let them figure it out, right? They actually recommend high blood pressure as you age. It's interesting, right? All right. Now, unfortunately, the Western medicine has a word to justify all that. It's called the quality of care. I don't have enough time to explain all that, but that's what it is. Okay, so now we're done with the face, right? Okay, so let's work on the ears. So ears, three parts. Upper part, thumb inside, fingers on the outside. Middle finger, or middle part, thumb in the inside, fingers on the outside. And then the lower part, the thumb on the inside, and massage. Massage the tip, yank, massage the rim all the way down the ear loop, yank. Put the thumb behind the ear loop, take the index finger on the outside, and just massage both the bottom of the ear and as well as the front part of the ear. Take the index finger and just slide up and down like this. And then put the index finger on top and just squeeze your ear like this. And then use two fingers, one on the ear, one on the skull, and just massage the back of the ear like this. And then like this. Now you find that earlier I talked about yang deficiency when you're very cold, and you find that when you massage your ear, not only your ear gets warm, your whole body gets warm, right? Extremities, right? Okay, so now we're gonna learn to pop the ear. So we take two hands, put it behind, stretch and pop, stretch and pop, stretch and pop. All right. So a lot of work. We finally get to the top of the head. And so first, let's massage our face, put our hands together, massage the face, the side of the face, the temple, the forehead, and just kind of move up to the hairline, all the way up to the big brain, all the way back, all the way down, and then to the neck, and then on top of the ears like this. Okay, all right, so now ready to tap the top of the head. There's an energy point here. If you go like this, it's right here, very easy to find. And this is called the 100 meet. This is where all the yang energy come together. All right. So we're gonna first make sure that this energy point is actually located on top of the spine. So we do that by stretching our spine and then lean back, relax. Open the shoulder, relax the shoulder, Lean back the forehead so the ears on top of the shoulder. Tuck in the chin so that the top of the head is on top of the spine. Then we take 10 fingers, vertical, put that on top of the head. We're going to tap that 30 times. Get ready? Go. Okay, now we're going to learn to comb our hair. So we use the tip of the finger, not the fingernail. We're going to put 4 fingers in the forehead, one above the ear, and then we're going to comb our hair by massaging it with our fingertip. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to put all fingers on top of the ear. Go 1, 2, and 3. Okay. All right. Now, one of the things that we do here is we're exercising without exercising. We're actually gaining energy by not exhausting ourselves, right? Because what we're doing is we're not trying to burn up energy, but rather we're trying to, release the self-healing power of our body, right? And this is actually, if you need to go read the book, it comes in book form as well as electronics form. It is actually even available on Netflix. Something called the Blue Zone. Blue Zone, right? There's a pair of researchers that went and spent the last, I don't know, decade or so researching different regions of the world, trying to figure out why these regions have people that on average live up to the mid 90s to the hundreds. So one of the ones that I'm familiar with is Okinawa, right? So that's people that are they tend to live very long. There's another in the Mediterranean. Even California has a region like that, and so they all have their own reasons for doing that. But one of the things that they do is they don't do a lot of extreme exercise, right? And that's all. We don't do extreme exercise here. We just do gentle exercise to relieve the self-healing power. Okay. And so as you do that, it's already 45 minutes and we gain energy without exhausting ourselves, right? Okay. So let's continue to relieve the self-healing power by tapping on important energy points, starting with the shoulder. So both the shoulder and the front. And so this is called the well on the shoulder. This is called the gate to the cloud. This one is the meridian, part of the meridian that we name after the gallbladder. This is the one that we name after the lung. So stretch, lean back, open the shoulder, completely relax, taking the right hand, empty hand, meaning that we're forming an air pocket. Put the fingers on top, the palm in front. Turn your head to the right. Listen with your left ear. Wake up. Continue. And the other side, open the shoulder, relax. Left hand, right shoulder, right ear. Wake up. Continue. Okay, and now we work on this energy point. This is part of the heart or the mind, right? It goes into the armpit. So we're going to take a left shoulder, put that on top of the head, sit up straight. We're going to use 2 fingers and squeeze just gently the top part of a right ear. We're going to take the right hand. First, we're going to massage that. This is where the lymph nodes are. So it's very important. And then we're going to tap this energy point by forming a empty hand. Turn your head slightly to the right. Listen with the left ear. Wake up. Continue. And then the other side, sit up straight, left hand, first massage, turn your head to the left. Okay, now I'm going to tap it with the empty hand. Get ready. Wake up. Continue. Okay, now we get to the armpit. Right? Remember, not armpit, no, elbow. Remember we talked about the energy point here? We did that. Now it's time to do this. So you lock your elbow. You put your palm about the same height as your eyebrow. You take your right hand, you form empty hand. You wrap it around by putting the fingers on top, two energy point on the side as well. Listen with the left ear, empty hand. Remember, lock your elbow. Get ready, go. Wake up. And then the other side, lock. Okay, left hand, right ear. Wake up. Continue. Okay. So when you study that book or the video or and you look at what people do in this so-called blue zone, basically comes down to eating right, which means no processed food, right? And you eat food that helps with the probiotic, meaning that food that are fermented, right? Um, and you drink right, no sugary drinks, right? And one thing that they all do is they all drink some kind of wine. And so in the Western world, we confuse wine with alcohol. Alcohol is when you distill. Wine is fermented. Rice wine is fermented. Wine that's made out of grape is fermented, right? That's different. That actually helps with your digestion, helps with everything. So you all find that they all have some kind of fermented beverages of different kind. And so you eat right, you drink right, you rest right, right? So these days we tend to work 24/7, and you need to really find that balance, the harmony between the energetic and the restorative. Right? That's how we used to be. Modern people, we are outgrowing our evolution, right? And the human species um, evolved between the yin and yang. Yang outside in the sun, you're in the fight or flight. Yin is away from the sun. Inside the cave, you're in rest and digest. So you have these two autonomous systems that has to work in harmony. The sympathetic nerve system is where you put out stress hormone, reduce inflammation. And then when you're in the parasympathetic, you rest and digest. That's when you restore sensitivity to the stress hormone. And nowadays we're so stressed out that our body's full of stress hormone to a point where we no longer sensitive to it. That's why you have carpal tunnel. That's why you have carpal tunnel, and you end up putting steroid inside your body when you already have too much steroid, right? So that's a problem. Okay, so anyway, so let me finish. So eat right, drink right, rest right, exercise right. The most important is you have to have the right spirit. You have to have the right spirit. Okay. And so I talk about that in the past that there's an interaction between your state of mind and your chi. Um, right now, there's a puzzle. There are a lot of people with lung cancer that has no history of smoking, no family member that smokes. So there's no possibility of secondhand smoke. but yet they have lung cancer. Now, the Chinese believe that that comes from your emotional state, either that you're fearful all the time, or you're, it comes from anxiety, sadness, anger, and all that. So those are not good for you. They're not good for your body. So there's a book called The Body Remembers. The body does remember. Okay. Now we're going to work on the back, and then after that, we'll work on the lower part of the body. So in the back, the spine is an important meridian called the guardian. And then on the outside right here, so if you take your right hand, you reach as far back as you can. It's right here. There's a couple of energy points here. One is called the healing of the lung. Okay, so that's a very, now let me do this with the back facing you so you can see it. All right, so we stretch your spine, lean back, open the shoulder, relax. Now you can also do this standing up if you like. You take your right hand, you use the empty hand, you reach as far back as you can. You take your left hand, you use the back of the hand, and you go around and you wrap around the waist. Okay, so there's energy point here. This one is fire, this one is water. So this one, you need to mix the water and fire, and you do that by rotating. Okay, and then you get ready, right? So you rotate the other way, then you rotate the other way, like this. Okay, all right. So this is a very good exercise. Very good, very good. Okay, so we're done with the upper torso. On the upper torso. Yeah, so there was the body remembers is a very good book, but it's, in my opinion, is a lot of conjecture. Okay, which is fine. It's logical. It makes sense to me. But recently, a doctor, a cardiologist, no, actually, I'm sorry, not a oncologist, someone who, a doctor who you go to if you have cancer. And after 30 years practicing as an oncologist, he decided that cancer is a disease that comes from the heart, not the heart, but the mind. That's his conclusion. And he did that. He actually justified it medically by examining the central nervous system and how trauma. When we say the body remembers, we typically think about trauma. How trauma um, influence our nerve system and causes cancer in the body. Okay, and so lots of people around me now are diagnosed with cancer. Kind of a scary thing. All right. Okay. Now we're going to work on the lower part. Upper part is like the heart and the lung. It's kind of an extended form of cardio. The lower part is more metabolic, liver, gallbladder, stomach, and then splint, and then the bladder, right? Again, they're not organ as much as they're energy. All right. So now we're going to work on the inside first, which is the liver. So close open your knee above the knee, separate into three parts, two energy point, two on each side, forming the empty hand. Get ready, go. Second one. And then close your knee on the outside. You ready? And this is the gallbladder now. So a lot of the energy points are named after the wind, which is the nerve. And so these two right here, it's been known that they're good for reducing the chance of having a stroke. You ready? Go. Second one. Okay. All right. So now above the knee, 2 energy point, below the knee, 3. So the first one is actually right here. So you slide your finger up. You can't go anymore. It's right here. So these two are important for your immune system. And when you go to acupuncturists, they also work on this. Get ready? Go. Middle. Okay, now lots of people have gout. Gout is just basically another name for arthritis. It's just that it happens more on the toe. So these two energy points will help with that. Get ready, and you can actually feel some tingling on your toe. Get ready, go. Okay, now we're working on the stomach, which is in front. Start with the knee, measure 4 fingers, feel the bone in front, right outside the bone, towards the front. Now, there are 4 energy points that are most famous in the lower part of your body. We just work on the first one right here. This is the second one. Okay, get ready. This is would help your digestion. Get ready, go. Okay, now measure another 4 fingers. Find the bone in front, just right outside the bone. Get ready, go. Okay, as we get old, sometimes we have phlegm, and we think that the phlegm is because our lung is infected. That's not true. Um, the phlegm actually comes from what's called a splint deficiency, and that's because the splint in the stomach, they're responsible for digestions, which is what we call um, transformation, and then they're also responsible for transport, which is transport of water, right? So the lymph node is part of that, and so when your body has problem with the lymph, then you have phlegm. All right. Now, I have an important energy point that I believe in, and that's because I spent a lot of years taking care of my dad who was suffering from dementia. And where they deteriorate is actually right here. Okay. So I want you to massage this. It's very important. I take care of this one. This is just first person experience. Okay. Now at the bottom of this, I forgot what this is called. Someone remind me what this is called. And at the bottom of this, in the middle, it's an energy point here. So I want you to put that on your right knee and just kind of bouncing on the calf. Thank you, calf. And just bounce it up and down like this. Okay, you feel sore. Okay, so the calf is actually very important. In the Western science, it's actually called the second heart. Right. So this is important. And then this energy point is important. So we do 30 times. And then now we're going to go to the right. Again, massage the calf. And then we're going to put that on the left side. And then we're going to tap that 30 times. Okay, now we're going to work on the toes. Finally, we get to the work on the toes. So first, we're going to work on the top of your feet and open up your big toe in the second one and just massage this one. This is the beginning of the liver energy line. And I'm going to press down on this energy point a little bit. And then we're going to flip it upside down. And on this ball area, there's like a in between the big toe and the little one, and you just kind of scrape that a little bit. And these two will actually help with your high blood pressure, as well as the fact that you wake up in the middle of the night every night. Okay, now you're going to take the thumb, you're going to bend it back. You see this tendon, you're going to scrape this. This is called the longevity tendon. Then you're going to scrape the bottom of the feet. Then we're going to massage the toes. And then pinch the ball area. Pinch the heel. And now we're going to massage the arch, which is a very important part because that's where the splint energy line as well as the kidney energy line travel through. So you're going to use a good old scraping tool and just kind of scrape the arch all the way from the bone to the heel. Okay, so I mentioned there are 4 energy points that are very important. I mentioned this one right here. I mentioned this one right here. There's a third one, which is called the 3 innate. If you locate the angle, 4 fingers, find the bone on the south side of the bone, and just press on that. And then you're going to scrape. Okay, so this is a very important. I recommend scraping this, and you could tell when a person has problem with the splint. Now, again, this is not the organ because in the Western side world we can you can cut out the splint, but we're talking about energy here. Splint and the stomach, they are the earth element, so they're the cradle of life. They're both responsible for transform and transport. And so usually when we talk about people overweight, we're not talking about them having too much body fat. We're actually talking about them having too much water. And so that's an indication of splint deficiency. Okay. All right. So finally, we get to the 4th most important energy point, which is called the gushing spring. Now, gushing spring means that this energy point should be touching the ground at all times so that the energy from the earth can gush into your body like the spring water. And so there's a study that people in the third world actually have less problem with COVID. And they think that is because they're still working in the field all the time so that the gushing spring is touching the earth all the time. So press in here. And then finally, we're going to tap this just the same way that we tap in the back. We're mixing water and fire. So we're going to bend the toes back, form an empty hand. Get ready, go. Continue. Okay, now quickly on the other side, in between the big toe and the second toe, press in here. Some more. Turn it back. Locate the little valley between the big and just kind of scrape that. Turn the big toe back, scrape on the longevity tendon, scrape the bottom of the feet, massage the toes, massage the ball area, massage the heel, scrape the arch, and then measure 4 fingers from the angle, press down on this energy point called the 3 yin heat, or 3 yin energy that comes together here, and then scrape at the bottom below the bone. Okay, and then press in on the gushing spring, and then mixing the water and fire. Get ready? Go. Continue. And massage. Okay, we're done. A lot of work, huh? A lot of work for what? A lot of work for what? A lot of work to improve the quality of life as we age. If you haven't taken care of anyone, then you don't know what it means to age. There are only two choices. Either you take care of someone or you have someone take care of you. I'd rather take care of someone else. I don't want people to take care of me. So I'm doing all this for myself and for my parents and for my students to unleash the self-healing power. Okay? Unleash the self-healing power. And it's actually not that hard to understand how, because all you have to do is go to Costco. And as you walk in, you will see all the things they're trying to sell you when you have lost your self-healing power. They sell you what? They sell you probiotic. They sell you melatonin. They sell you big old water bottle. And you look at that and you say, what's this? And then as you walk in, they sell you food that looks like food, but they're in a big box that you have to microwave. Those are not food. So why did they sell you probiotic? Because you're not eating right. You're not eating right. You're not having enough fermentation food that you need, right? So you need to go and eat sauerkraut, miso, what else? All that things that are fermented, so that allows you to have a better internal system. Why they sell you melatonin? Because you have too much cortisol and you cannot sleep, right? And there's no melatonin in your body. Why do you need a big old bottle like this? Because you don't have saliva. You don't know how to self-hydrate. You're too much stress. And when you're in fight or flight, the first thing it does is turn off your saliva gland. Because why? When you fight or flight, you're running away from a lion, or you're running after a rabbit. Why would you need digestion? Why would you need immune system? So it shuts it all down. No saliva. I'm sitting here for how long? I'm sitting here for almost an hour and a half. I don't even drink water. My mouth is full of water. That's self-healing. All right. So let's continue. We're going to run out of time. So, but I want to make sure that we do this one exercise. This is a very important exercise. It's a longevity exercise. It really combines three things. It combines stretching, but it's actually stretching of the fascia, not just stretching the muscle of the tendon. It also combines it with cardio, but it's not just the heart, it's the heart and lung together. And then finally, it works on the muscle so that you're not losing muscle. And we all know that those are the three things that we need to age gracefully, mindful aging. Okay? All right. So this is a very important exercise. Now let's translate into exchange or renewal of tendon. Again, it's a mistranslation. The Chinese word should actually be translated into the uh, connected tissue. Okay, but anyway, so we start by planting the feet firmly on the ground. We stand like the pine tree. We sit like the bell. We walk like the wind. We lie down like the bow, as in bow and arrow. So you stand like the pine tree. Okay. Then you turn your toes inward. And the reason you do that is that we want you to loosen up your knee. So you're not locking the knee like this. Loosen the knee. When you loosen the knee, you activate all the energy points in the back of your feet, the leg. Okay. You don't have to go like this. You just loosen it a little bit. Then you stretch your spine, lean back so you're not hunching. Open the shoulder, relax. Lean back the forehead, tuck in the chin. So the top of the head is on top of the spine. The first one is called spirit boosting palm. You're sending a shock wave through your body, all the way to the top of the head, and then it comes right back. You take your hand, your palm, the center of the palm facing down. You put that not here, not here, but in the plane. And when I say go, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Instead, you listen to your mind. You let your mind anchor on the center of your palm, mind, body together, and you push, okay, as hard as you can. Get ready? Go. And then, most important part is to bring your body away from the fight or flight back to the rest and digest, restoring sensitivity to the stress hormone by focusing on your breathing, one breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Second time, get ready, go. Focusing on your breathing. First breath, second breath. One last time. Spirit boosting palm. Get ready, go. And then back to the breathing, one breath at a time. The second one is called pointing. The word pointing also means the thumb. So you start with the thumb. You take the thumb, you point to the wand tel, which is the name of the energy point. You don't touch it, just point to it, forming a half circle. Then you take your four fingers, you roll up your four fingers. Now you're energizing the meridian that we name after the bladder. The name after the large intestine. So in a way, this is detox. So you take your thumb, imagine you hang 2 buckets of water on your thumb and you lift up your 2 buckets of water as hard as you can, stretching the thumbs upward as hard as you can. And then relax without lowering your hand. Focusing on your breath, one breath at a time. After 2 breaths, second time, lift up the buckets of water as hard as you can. And then relax. Back to the breathing. One breath at a time. After 2 breaths, one last time. And then relax. This time, lower the hand, completely relax, focusing on your breath. 2 breaths, one breath, second breath. Okay, now the next one is called beginner's mind. It's the baby's mind. It's what the babies does when they're inside the mother's womb, energizing the heart and the pericardium. You do that by taking the thumb, fold it across so that the tip is below the ring finger. Then you wrap it with the 4 fingers and you squeeze your fist as hard as you can. Squeeze it as hard as you can. And then open your fingers, relax without lowering your hand. Completely focus on your breathing. Second time, squeeze your fist as hard as you can. And then relax. Next time when you meet a newborn, give them an index finger. They will squeeze your finger. It's really funny. And then one last time, squeeze as hard as you can. And then lower your hand, completely relax. Okay, now the next one is called pointing the nose. So it's just you put your fists together, you put that at the belly button, and you lift up your fist as you take an in breath, and you do it all the way until you get to the nose. Get ready? Breathe in, and then relax. Now you leave your fists together in front of your nose, you bring in your elbow, you focus on your back where we were tapping, right? All those energy points in the back, and then you just kind of crack your back, open your back as hard as you can, and then relax, focusing on your breath. Second, okay? Now, second time, and then relax. One breath at a time. One last time, and then relax. The next one is called the fist on top of the head. So you focus on your fist, you open your shoulder, you bring your fist above the head, you open your fingers. Okay, now you're doing something against your heart. You're actually doing something very cardio by rolling up your fist, one joint, two joints, lock it with your thumb, and then squeeze as hard as you can as if you're fighting with your heart. Squeeze all that blood away from your fingers. And then you relax, let the blood come back to the fingers. So this is very cardio. Second time, squeeze as hard as you can, and then relax. One last time, squeeze as hard as you can, and then relax. The next one's called stabbing the shoulders. First, you have to open the shoulder. Then you grab, as if you're grabbing two daggers. You point your dagger onto your shoulder. Okay, it's important to point it to your shoulder. And you stab, and you feel the tightness in the back of your neck where we were doing the massage earlier. And then you get ready, go relax, open your fingers, focusing on your breathing. Second time, stab. See, all you're doing is exercising all those fascia, right? Those connective tissue. And then relax. So you clear the channel, let the chi flows freely into different parts of your body, reducing inflammation. One last time, stab, and then relax. The next one is called the cross. Now just remember that we're not punching here, we're pushing. We're stretching the upper part of our arm, the meridian called the triple warmer. So imagine you have two wars on the side, you rotate your wrist, you roll your fist, you take a deep breath, and you push. And then you relax, focusing on your breathing. Second one. And you push. And then you relax. After two breaths, one last time. And you push. And then you relax. After two breaths, you do front hanging. Front hanging means that this arms like the bamboo that you hang your clothes on. So you lock your elbow. You have a wall in front. You rotate your wrist. You form your fist. You take a deep breath and you push. And then relax. Second time. Push. Yeah. Now in Chinese we say bang means avalanche. Push it until you form an avalanche. One last time. Bang. And then relax. Now the next two is all about muscle. Okay, you don't use it, you lose it. Okay, now you grab onto this horizontal bar, you look up, and you lift yourself up, You know how heavy you feel. I'm 175 pounds. I'm lifting 175 pounds. And then you relax. Second time, pull yourself up and then open your fingers, relax. Stay focused on your breath. One last time, and then relax. Next one, I call this ripping the yellow page. You grab the yellow page, one on each side, and you rip. Relax. Second time, and you rip. Relax. I'm sure my kids don't know what a yellow page is. I'm pretty sure of that. And you rip, and then you relax. Next one, you collect all your salivas in your mouth, and you swallow to the dantian. Then you check your goat stand. This is called a goat stand, which means that your toes are pointing inward and you bend your knees. Okay, back of the hand facing, back of the hand. Now this one actually is very important for your back. The very good, very important for the kidney and the G line. So you straighten up your back first. Okay, then you bend down without still loosening up your knee. Okay, without locking your knee. Back of the hand facing, looking straight down. Squeeze your fists, back of the hand touching, focusing on your breath. Second time, back of the hand. Third time, back of the hand. Flip, so you're looking at the palm. Now, all this time without locking your knee. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, palm facing forward, lower your knee, and imagine you have a big rock in front and you say, push. Then you take a deep breath, breathe out, completely relax. Okay, now we're going to meditate. It's already 9 o'clock, so for those of you who have to go, just come back and follow on the video tape, okay? Not tape, I'll age myself. The video recording, okay? So everything that we do here is recorded on YouTube and Facebook, all right? Okay, so I'm going to take my time to meditate with you. And this meditation technique is called the wandering dragon chasing the pearl. It actually comes in three parts. The first part is called mindful of the body to cultivate the chi. And in this case, what we're doing is we're using the stomach to augment our breathing by exercising the diaphragm. So before we do that, let's learn how to sit properly. Now, if you sit on the chair, just make sure that the bottom of the feet are touching the ground. You sit like I do, make sure you put some pillows and blankets so that you're not lifting up your arm. You can sit like this, or you can sit like this. It doesn't matter. Or you can even do a lotus, okay, if you're hardcore. The second thing you want to do is you want to relax your arms. If some of you would like to do mudra, like this, okay, just don't lift it up because you're using muscle. Then I want you to start at the bottom of your spine. You walk up your spine towards the top of your head. As you walk up the spine, I want you to stretch your spines one joint at a time. Stretch it as hard as you can, as if you're hanging the spine onto the ceiling. You sit like the bell, so your spine is like the clapper inside the bell. It needs to be hanging from the ceiling. Then I want you to lean back and then relax. Then I want you to open the shoulder and relax. Then I want you to lean back the forehead so that the ears on top of the shoulder. I want you to tuck in your chin so the top of the head is on top of your spine. We call this one pillar supporting the sky. I want you to shut your eye, but don't shut it tight. Just relax your eyelid. Just imagine how the baby sleeps. They just relax the eyelid. Then finally, I want you to put the tip of the tongue behind the teeth, where the teeth meets the roof of your mouth. This one does three things. One is that it turns on your saliva gland, which is good. Second is that if there's any salivas in your mouth, it channels it into your stomach and not into your lung, which is good. And then finally, it conducts, it completes the electrical path between the spine, which is what we call guardian vessel, which comes all the way to the top of your head, down between your nose and the bridge and the lip. Then it goes into your tongue and all the way back to your stomach. Now that we're done with the posture, we're going to start with the first one, first step, which is called mindful of the body to cultivate the chi. We do that by anchoring our mind on the belly button. And we just observe the body. I know that I'm breathing in. I know that I'm breathing out. And when you know that you're breathing in, just move the belly button forward, as if you're bringing the belly button all the way across your room. Just your mind. Just use your mind, and the body will follow. You will notice that your stomach expands because your diaphragm is pushed down, opening up your lung cavity, getting more oxygen into your body. And then when you breathe out, I want you to take the belly button and take it all the way in as if you are collapsing the belly button with the back, pushing up the diaphragm, collapsing the stomach, pushing out all the stale air from the lung. Breathe in, forward, breathe out, backward. Okay, let's just do 3 minutes of that. Okay, so this is just looking at the fundamentals, and this is called mindful of your body to cultivate the chi. So in this case, the chi is referring to the static electricity that you generate in your stomach. Because when you move your diaphragm like this, it's massaging the small intestines, which are piezoelectric. So you actually generate some static electricity. Now what we want to do is we want to cycle those electricities through a spine by using our mind. Actually, is using your brain, more precisely using the chamber between your left brain and your right brain to provide electrical potential to guide those electrons up your spine, which are conductive. So you do that by letting go of your breath. You can still feel your stomach moving when you breathe in, expanding the stomach. You can still feel your stomach moving when you breathe out, collapsing the stomach. Now, what you do is you anchor your mind on the bottom of your spine. As you breathe in, you walk the spine on towards the top of the head, stretch the spine until you get to the top of the head. And when you breathe out, you start at the top of the head, you come down through the forehead, through the bridge of your nose, to the tongue, to the chin, all the way down back to the stomach. As you do that, you lean back and relax. When you breathe in, you go up, stretch your spine. When you breathe out, you come back, relax, and lean back. Now, at first, it feels very artificial, but after a while, you actually start to experience some energy rising on your spine on its own. It takes some practice, but what happens is that you're experiencing magnetic resonance between your magnetic field and the magnetic field in the universe. So the energy actually rises on its own. That's called the pearl. And you are the mind is called the dragon. That's why it's called dragon chasing the pearl. The pearl rises and you just follow and then come down. The trick is that it's not just the dragon chasing the pearl, it's the wandering dragon chasing the pearl, which means that you're not trying to chain the dragon down. You let the dragon be free. So as you rise the spine, you imagine there's a cloud on top of your head, the ancestral home of the dragon. And you let your dragon return to the ancestral home away from your body. When the dragon reaches the cloud, you look down, back onto yourself. And when you breathe out, you let it come back down to your stomach. You imagine that your stomach is the cave for the dragon. And you let your dragon be free as if you're letting the dragon hibernate inside the cave. You let it all go. You wait until your body presents again. You rise to the cloud. And when you breathe out, you come back into the cave. Let's sit for 5 minutes. We're way over time. It's worth it. Okay. This is something that I want you to do on your own, hopefully every night or every morning. Okay, open your eyes. All right, so this is a 1,000-year-old meditation technique invented by the Taoists. Um, Traditional name is called the microcosmic orbit. Um, we just taught it a little differently to make sure that you get the wandering part right. So if you break it down, the first part is called mindful of the body to cultivate the chi. The second part, as you cycle the energy through your spine, is called um, what is it called? It's called practicing the mind to unleash. It's called practicing the chi to unleash the mind, and then finally is the one that's called emancipating the mind to achieve um, liberty or freedom or awareness or uh, any word that you want to use. But the key word is emancipation, right? So it's the belief that we are a spiritual being captured by this body. Okay, it's the only tool we have, but the ultimate goal is to be free of the shackle of the body. Not just the body as in what you can see, but all the bodily desire as well. And a couple of days ago, in our Cantonese class, I talked about the election because it was July 4. We actually had a class on July 4, and I had to talk about the election, the presidential election, because I was speaking to mostly immigrants. So it was hard we need to understand our political systems. And I said, it's very easy to think of our, 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 our election process as one of good against evil. That's actually not a good way to look at it. It should be looked at as a way of wholesome versus unwholesome, skillful versus unskillful, kusala versus akusala. So when we talk about spiritual practice, it's not about the body, it's not about a certain ritual. It's really about understanding how our mind works and to be able to make free choices between our thoughts. Some of the thoughts are wholesome, like compassion, loving kindness, empathy, and equanimity. Some of the thoughts are unwholesome, like fear, hatred, jealousy, anger, violence, and all of those. Now, there used to be that, I've been this century 53 years now. It used to be that when we elect an official, especially a president, we want them to have the wholesome quality. Very famously said, don't ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. We focus on that. It used to be that all the presidents had to serve in the military, had to make sacrifices. We talk about Kennedy with the PT boat. We talk about George Bush being a pilot. It was important to focus on the service because we want someone to bring out the wholesomeness in us. Unfortunately, in the last decade or so, we start to treat voters as consumers. And we realize that some consumers like one kind of product and some consumers like another kind of product. So we cater to them. It turns out that a lot of us kind of enjoy hatred and anger and jealousy. It's important that we blame the other person. 1974, we had just been in this country as an immigrant for 3 years. My parents scraped together enough money to buy this house, this one right here. I bought this house for my parents about 20 years ago. They retired. They took the money and retired. But 1974, I was um, I was 17 years old, something like that. I was still in high school. I moved in this house. It's in San Francisco, in the Richmond side, if you know San Francisco. And it was a time in the early 70s when the Chinese people don't dare to move to this part of the country, to this part of the city. We were closer to Chinatown. We were one of the first because the houses were cheaper. And this house was really broken down anyway. My father bought it for $40,000. I remember the first day I walked out of the house going to school. I was in high school. And my neighbor across the street pointed at me. And he says, "Why don't you go back to where you come from?" And I was looking at him. I didn't understand. Why do you want me to go back to 19th Avenue? I just moved from there. So a lot of us like hatred, like to blame the other person. And the politician just cater to us. We are the problem, not the candidate. Our spiritual practice here is all about understanding how our mind works, understanding the body and the breath, so that there are a early warning sign for a state of mind. So when you have a unwholesome thought, your body not only remembers, the body actually is the first one that senses it, and you say, "Oh, I don't want to have that," and you focus on the wholesome thoughts. That's what I try to do. It's a struggle for me. It's a struggle for me to relieve the pain on my thumb, on my shoulder, and like that. It's a struggle every day. It's a struggle for me to make choices, not only material choices, but choices of the mind. That's why we support Venerable Bodhidharma, who's dedicated his life bringing that freedom inside the prison. Those who are incarcerated has no freedom, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. They have no freedom of the body. They have no freedom of the speech. They have no freedom of the action. But yet, they can understand the source of the anger and the violence and learn to have freedom of the mind. We on the outside have so much freedom that we don't understand the ultimate freedom is the freedom of a mind. Let us put our hands together. Let us be very grateful. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be a citizen of the United States, to be part of this great experiment called democracy. I dedicate my life to make this a better country than it was given to me because it deserved it. I appeal to my Creator. I look at the light in my eyes. I ask for her grace. I ask for her forgiveness. I ask for the courage to continue to do my best to make this a better world. I ask her for the serenity to accept things that I cannot change, that I just can't change other people. They are who they are. I have to accept them as they are. I can only change myself. I ask for the wisdom there is within me. If I can put aside all the hindrances and let that wisdom reveal itself so that I know the difference. Thank you for allowing me to be in this country. Thank you for allowing me for being a member of this great experiment. Namaste. I'll see you all next week, okay? All right, stay with the practice, huh? Okay. All right，我哋星期一見吓。OK，拜拜。
拜拜，thank you，
多謝。
感恩
OK，感恩，拜
拜拜
拜，拜拜。
，thank